Today I fucked up by letting my kids watch Bluey. Obligatory, not literally today, disclaimer, but technically over a year culminating in a fuck up a couple of days ago. I know what you're thinking. How could anyone fuck up by letting their kids watch an absolutely adorable and beloved animated show about a family of Australian dogs? Please allow me to enlighten you. My wife and I have 5-year-old triplet boys. As some of you with kids can probably understand, discovering Bluey about a year or so ago became a godsend when you just need a break for a few minutes. Having triplets, we probably rely on those breaks a lot more than a lot of people would recommend, but a lot of people don't have triplets either. For those of you not familiar with Bluey, a majority of the episodes are about some silly game unique to the Healer family. The 4th episode, Daddy Robot, is about the kids asking their dad to play Daddy Robot. Daddy Robot is where the dad basically pretends to be a robot servant to the 2 children. He does what they ask and refers to them as his master. Fast forward a couple of days ago, around a year or so of watching all the Bluey episodes multiple times, my 3 5-year-olds were playing Daddy Robot at school amongst themselves. What were they asking Daddy Robot to do? I'll tell you what they were asking Daddy Robot to do. Being 5-year-olds, anything to do with butts is obviously the pinnacle of comedy. So if you were trying to be silly and make your brothers laugh, why would you not ask your Daddy Robot to put their face between your butt cheeks? I mean, we were all 5 years old once. I'm sure it would have been funny back then. Now, place yourself in the shoes of someone who works with kids, is a mandatory reporter of any kind of suspected child abuse, but you are not familiar enough with Bluey to immediately recognize the phrase Daddy Robot. Not only do you hear a 5-year-old ask another 5-year-old from the same family to put their face between their butt cheeks, but the Daddy Robot then proceeds to respond with, "Yes, master." What do you think happens next? You guessed it. Earlier in the week, a social worker, escorted by a state trooper, oh my goodness, was in our house for 2 to 3 hours asking questions and checking our living conditions. Thankfully, Bluey was playing almost the entire time. It wasn't until yesterday that my wife spoke to a detective to get the barest of details to realize that they were just reenacting an episode of Bluey and not, in fact, reenacting some sort of sexual master/slave dynamic from home. Jeez. The investigation is still proceeding with individual interviews next month, and now I have to worry about getting arrested in a few months if my kids can't explain Daddy Robot properly. Okay, like, I've seen Bluey before, and I've watched some Bluey episodes. Not full episodes, but, you know, like, when you type on YouTube, like, Bluey, and it's like a whole compilation of Bluey and whatnot. I've checked it out, and I don't know what the Daddy Robot episode is, so I without the context, I have no idea either. You know, like, years down the line, this is going to be a really hilarious moment to y'all, but the fact that you said this is still ongoing, so you have no idea what's going to happen next, I think y'all be fine. You're gonna be fine as long as you, like, I don't see why y'all didn't just pull up the episode like right when the investigation was happening and you'd be like, no, this is what they were watching, like, literally look at the episode. It probably would have made things a lot better for y'all. And yeah, kids mimicking what they see on TV, it happens. I did a lot of that stuff. I did a lot of that stuff growing up too, and yeah, being a 5-year-old, like, just like fart jokes and general like little boy humor was like hilarious. So like, I'm not faulting the kids for doing what they did. All in all, it's just a funny situation that got a little bit out of hand, and I can see how it would look bad for people looking on the outside, but you know, I think y'all will be fine. Today I fucked up by doing my job in front of my parents. Everyone knows I'm bi, which was not the case a couple of years ago. Since then, I was still low-key pretending to be straight. I only dated girls and avoided being seen in public places that were well known for attracting sexually diverse people. Everyone in my life seemed to have accepted my sexuality, but for some reason I was struggling to shake off the shame and fully embrace who I was. So a few weeks ago, I did something totally out of my comfort zone and applied to be a waiter at a gay club. The person who interviewed me literally hired me on the spot after I said I was willing to wear the equivalent of a Speedo and go shirtless from time to time. It's been a wild experience so far, but last night was one of the wildest because my parents unexpectedly appeared in the club. Did your parents know it was a gay club? I mean, I guess it's not like exclusively like only gay people can be there. Like, I've been to a few gay clubs. It was actually pretty nice. A lot of friendly people. I've never informed them about my job, but somehow they found out about it and thought it was an excellent idea to show their support by showing up at my work on a weekend night when the place was packed with drunk dudes requesting to pour alcohol all over my abs so they can lick it off. Wow. And not to mention the bachelorette party happening in the background, which involved me group dancing on stage to Murder on the Dance Floor because the bride-to-be watched Saltburn. I paused at my parents' table while giving one of the bridesmaids a piggyback ride to the restroom. I referenced the intoxicated bridesmaid on my back and begged my parents to please leave because it was already cringe enough for me to do what I was doing without my mom and dad watching me and waving whenever we made eye contact. My parents agreed to leave if I posed for a work photo with them, which I reluctantly did. The bridesmaid insisted on being included in the photo. She can be seen on my back poking my dad with a penis-shaped straw. I might have to quit my job now. Too much trauma. I mean, this was kind of nice, actually. I mean, in the beginning, you said like you came out and everyone accepted your sexuality, but for some reason you still couldn't fully come out yet. The fact that your parents showed up to your job and was just like super supportive and waving at you and stuff, even though you were dressed in like a Speedo and whatnot, and to you it seemed very cringy for your parents to see you like that, they still showed up and supported you, and that's nice. I'd be so happy because like this is not the case for like a lot of gay people or bi people or anyone just coming out of the closet. It's not the same case for a lot of those people. A lot of them get shunned and whatnot, kicked out of their house, just ostracized from their family entirely. So I'm really happy for you, man. You got real good supporting parents. Your parents sound fantastic and I love them. Love my parents too, but I could do with less memories of my mom and dad catching me in compromising positions. Oh man, this is wholesome. I like that one. Today I fucked up. My receipt was too faded. Tried to iron it. I already know where this is going. I purchased a laptop last year, which includes a year personal subscription to Microsoft 365. I didn't activate it automatically, and last year when I tried to activate it, I noticed I still had my current paid one for the year, so I decided to wait until that expired. Didn't think to record the product key number in case the receipt was faded. Just kept it in my wallet. Fast forward to today, was reminded my subscription had expired as my storage was low. I couldn't read all the digits on the product code, too faded. I ended up Googling how to restore a faded receipt and stupidly tried to iron it with a tea towel over it. That only made it worse. And the letters I could read before, I now can't. I've definitely done this. Like, I discovered this when I was like maybe, 10 or 11 or something. I wasn't trying to restore a receipt, but I did have like my mom's or my sister's flat iron for their hair to keep, straighten their hair and stuff. And I remember I had a folded up receipt that was all crumpled and I wanted to like make it straight and like flat again. So I took it between the two irons and I just tried to like iron out all the creases, only to find that it just turned the receipt completely black. And that's when I realized all the paper used on receipts are heat sensitive or something. But bro, that sucks. You had that one thing that could have saved you and you completely fucked it up. So looks like you gotta pay for a whole nother subscription, man. Today I fucked up by accidentally sending a flirty message to my boss instead of my crush. It all started with a conversation I was having with a girl I've been crushing on for a while. We were texting and I finally worked up the nerve to send a somewhat flirty message. Nothing too crazy, just a little playful banter. I was so excited to hit send that I didn't double check the recipient. And instead of sending it to her, I accidentally sent the message to my boss. The message read, "I can't stop thinking about you. Can't wait to see you again." Bro, that's it. Okay, I'm gonna pause the story real quick. Like, that's not as bad as I thought the message was gonna be. I thought you were gonna, you did say like it's nothing too crazy, just a little playful banter. Is that playful banter? I have no idea. How do people flirt nowadays? I immediately realized what I had done and naturally panicked. My heart dropped and I felt like I was going to pass out. I tried to call my boss, but of course they were in a meeting. So I just sat there staring at my phone, feeling like I was about to lose my job. To make matters worse, I hadn't realized that my boss's contact was right up next to my crush's name in my phone. I tried to cover it up by sending a follow-up text a few minutes later saying, "Sorry, wrong person, that was for a friend." But knowing my boss, they're the kind of person who likes to keep things professional, so I knew that wasn't going to go over well. Thankfully, when my boss finally responded, they didn't bring it up directly, but now I'm not sure if they were just being nice or if they were quietly judging me. Either way, it was incredibly awkward, and I haven't been able to look at them the same way since. I haven't been able to face my crush yet either, because I'm afraid she'll find out I messed up. Lesson learned, always triple check who you are texting, especially if it's a flirty message. TLDR, accidentally sent a flirty message to my boss instead of my crush. Now I'm in an awkward situation at work and with my crush. Honestly, man, this story doesn't sound bad at all. I thought the message was gonna be a lot worse, I guess, than this. Like, you just said, hey, I can't stop thinking about you, can't wait to see you again. It's like, hey boss, I appreciate you. You know, you're such a joy to be around, can't wait to see you again, man. It doesn't sound bad. If anything, you just sound like a very over-enthusiastic employee. Also, I would probably tell the crush too. I think she'll find it funny, like, honestly. Bosses don't care, shit happens, it's not a big deal. Time for a threesome? The duality of Reddit commenters. So yeah, man, it's not that big a deal, honestly. It could have been a lot worse, but I think you'll be fine. Well, that's gonna go ahead and do it for this episode of Reddit Today I Fucked Up. If you guys enjoyed these stories, also, if you have any embarrassing stories of how you fucked up, go ahead and let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Later.